Hi, my name is Patricia Warby. This is Alchemy Therapies, and this is the nutrition part of the site. Please do look around. There's lots of information on here about why I think nutrition is key to health and well-being. After all, food forms the basic building blocks of us, our bodies, and so you put rubbish in, you get rubbish out. It's actually hard to get a good diet in a Western country these days. The soils are denuded of minerals from many years of industrialised agricultural production, so the soils are not replenished, and thus they gradually over time become more and more deficient in the vitamins and minerals that we need. And unfortunately that has a result that we become malnourished and ironically overfed at the same time. So we're malnourished from our essential vitamins, fats and minerals, and yet we're overfed with these sort of processed foods which contain fast releasing carbohydrates, for instance, and trans fats, which are very damaging to the body, and they cause us a huge amount of problem. They may not cause overt disease initially because the body will try and do what it can to make use of them, but over time and as we age, the effects will become more and more apparent. So you do have to check the kind of food you're eating, and you'll see if you buy any sort of processed food, the list of ingredients is just phenomenal. And some of those things are just not recognisable as food, certainly not to your body. They're added for convenience to make the foods taste nicer, to enhance their shelf life, and to make them more palatable, because some of them would be fairly tasteless without those flavourings and colourings and so on. Now, I therefore recommend a whole food diet and returning to something that's much more natural for our bodies. Foods that are fairly naturally grown, organic if possible, things like vegetables, nuts and seeds. I often recommend also juicing as a way of both enhancing the amount of nutrition you're getting, because after all it would be difficult to eat the number of fruits and vegetables that we now need to rebalance ourselves, and juicing gives us that in a concentrated form. But also the great thing about vegetable juicing is it alkalizes the body, and a lot of the foods that we eat, meat and dairy, make us acidic, and over time that can really affect the systems of the body, because everything basically comes down to the cell and how the cell operates. And in an acidic environment, lots of functions of the cell become, poorly managed, and you can get all sorts of immune problems, for instance, where viruses, bacteria and fungi can begin to proliferate in the body. You'll see candida, for instance, is a big problem with a lot of people. It's a yeast, it can overgrow in the gut and cause leaky gut symptoms, which enables undigested food particles to actually enter your bloodstream, and that's what triggers the immune system. So the immunity becomes compromised, hormonal issues may develop whereby everything just gets out of balance. So that's the first problem, really. The second thing is actually detoxifying these things that we take in becomes more and more difficult. When the body gets depleted, the detoxification mechanisms, mainly operating in the liver, become compromised, and so even if we are taking in a reasonably good diet, over time toxicity will build, and thus certain organ systems will begin to struggle. Firstly the liver, of course, because that's the major organ of detoxification, and then it may actually affect your skin and your gut, and people who get IBS is a classic example. So then once toxicity becomes more deeply embedded, it may move into deeper and deeper systems in the body until you may get a recognisable disease, something like chronic fatigue syndrome or depression. So really my approach is to try and prevent that happening for you by showing you how you can actually reverse these slowly degrading systems and actually improve your health. So if that sounds of interest to you, please do get in touch, and I'll look forward to hearing from you and hopefully be able to show you how to make a difference to your life. Bye for now.